Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you again after a long time. Yep. Some winter sickness flying around. So we have to take care of that. And the body has to meet all the unknown viruses, foreigners that are still around, has never met. So my body took 2 years to finally meet this guy, but it's not that bad. But it took some work. What we're gonna talk about today. First, let me suck one of these super strong mints because I still have a little bit of cough lingering. So this, I would never dare to eat these when I don't have a cough because they're like so strong. But when I do have a cough, they really help. So sorry for the noise of sucking on it, but it helped me talking. What I want to say this morning is something probably I already said, but very important. When we practice our sitting, we want to make sure that our practice doesn't become a doing. Like I'm doing meditation. When you feel that you're doing meditation, put your antennas up because something is not right. But what do I mean by doing meditation? Well, by doing, I mean, it's a doing that is done for a purpose, is done to achieve something. I do this so I can get that, right? That kind of doing. So it's a doing that is finalized to something. Now, obviously, if I do to get something, there is a desire, isn't it? So I'm already sitting with the desire. This is going to get in the way. So if I sit because for whatever reason, I have a reason to sit, like I would like to be more peaceful, for example. That's already a desire. I would like to be more silent. That's a desire. I would like to be better in whatever way. I would like to be more spiritual. Ooh. Right? That's another desire. In whatever way you think you need to change yourself or improve on yourself, you're creating a desire. So you're doing a meditation. It becomes a doing. I do this, I do meditate so that, I might get that. Or I might get some nice experience like last time, ooh, I saw the lights or suddenly everything was blue. Great. And then what? Even if everything is blue, how does that change your being? I want to sit so I have a certain experience. That's a big one too. I'm talking about myself, not only about you. We're all in the same boat. That's why I can talk about it. So there is also a doing that is not finalized to anything. But that's more like maybe more expressed in our daily activities sometimes. There is a doing that I don't try to have something. I don't have to get something out of it. I do it because I love doing that thing, for example. When that kind of doing arises, like I do this because I just love doing it, then usually I call that creativity. It's a very different quality in that doing. Or in our daily doing, I'm not talking about sitting here, yeah? I switched to a doing during the day activity. I use the doing as an anchor into the present moment. I use the doing like, Shastro told me one time, or I read about this or that, whatever, or I know it because I experienced it already. I practice presence through the doing. So I wash the floor in my kitchen and I just do it with so much presence that I feel completely silent and peaceful while I do it. It becomes a meditation, no? Or I wash the dishes and I'm so with the act itself. I so enjoy feeling the water and the soap while I wash the dishes that it becomes a meditation. Huh? Or I drink a cup of tea, the famous cup of tea, we talked about it. And I bring so much joy and presence into the drinking and enjoy this tea, it becomes a tea meditation. Yeah. So that's different kind of doing. Then there is another doing I have to do to get my bread and butter together. I have to do to generate some money so I can buy my food, so I can pay my rent. Okay. So there is a goal. My goal is to earn something so that I can get my food, pay rent. But then again, I can transform that by bringing total presence and joy to what I do. It doesn't matter if it's my job or if it's something that I do just to get some money so that I can pay rent. How do I do it? That's what transforms that doing. So I can have a goal, practical goal, like, okay, I need to pay my rent. Fine, nothing wrong with that. But if I do it and I hate doing it, or if I do it and for whatever reason I judge myself for doing it, if I get into a spiritual ego trip, like, oh, this I do it just to make money, but that's my spiritual part. Is that I do it for my spiritual growth. I misunderstood everything. Every doing can become an exercise in presence. So, not necessarily doing because you need to pay your rent is wrong. I'm just saying, fine, there's practical things we need to take care of. But why don't you use those too to practice presence, to enjoy life? So it doesn't become an effort or something, oh no, my God, I have to do that to pay rent. Just do it with presence. And then it becomes your meditation. Then the primary goal that before was like getting the money becomes the secondary goal. And the primary becomes presence, this moment. See? So you transform the mundane into sacred just by changing the quality of your doing. And then if you can bring that quality to your whole life, to whatever you do, it's not going to be the same life. It's going to be much more juicy, enjoyable, happy, peaceful. You don't complain anymore. Because if you really complain about something, then I will tell you, don't do it then. Yeah. And if you have to do something for the rent, then don't complain. Bring presence to it. Bring joy to it. Use it. Use everything as your practice. So that covers the daily doing. Activity, so moving through the world of form. Fine. But when we sit, we don't need to actively, practically do anything. We're just sitting, sometimes with our eyes closed. So take that time to really not do anything. But still practice in presence. Only that. What does it mean? It means I don't sit with a goal. I sit simply to be. So I don't do meditation. I just sit so that I can be. And what does it mean to just be? It's just to be. Be there, present, and observe everything that is. Your consciousness, the quality of your consciousness is anyway a witness. So if you don't do anything at all, and you just are, still you will notice there is a consciousness that is aware of everything or nothing. I'm aware that there are no thoughts. Okay, who is aware of that? You, your consciousness. So you don't need to do anything. Consciousness is aware by nature. You don't have to practice to be aware. You don't have to go anywhere either. When I say go inward, or somebody else says go inward, it's like, well, where are you going? Well, it's not quite correct. What do you mean going inward? I'm already inward. We are already inward. Consciousness is inward. We are not going inward. That's a mistake. That creates an idea that you have to go somewhere and do something. So from now on, when we say go inward, if I say that, it simply means stop going outward. Simply that. Going inward means you stop going out, searching for experiences or getting involved with your thoughts or with forms, with objects. Identify with all the objects across your screen. Thinking about what you're going to do in 2 hours or anything that takes you out. So if you stop going outward, naturally you find yourself inward, because that's where naturally we are. Consciousness resides inward. So there is no going inward. There's not going anywhere. Yeah? So this is very important to understand. All the master says go inward, and then we wonder about where do I go? How do I do that? How do I go inward? And it becomes a mind trip. And we don't realize, but I'm already inward. There's nowhere to go. I have only to stop to go outward. So also that is out of the way. We're not going anywhere, not even inward, because we already are inward. And we don't need to do anything. We don't need to change ourselves. We're not meditating. We're not practicing to change ourselves, to improve on anything. We're practicing to observe what is. That's why in Zen, they don't use this word meditating. They just say sitting. That's more neutral, no? Let's just sit together now. I often say that too. Because sitting doesn't imply we're doing anything. Meditating already, okay, I'm going to do meditation now. So if that helps, think of it like, let's just sit. Sit on the cushion and just be. Observe what is. Let your awareness, which is doing it anyway, be aware, be conscious of everything that is. Whatever that is. If it's a lot of thoughts, okay, you become aware there are a lot of thoughts. Don't get involved with them. If you get involved, notice that you observe that you're getting involved, and that will help you step out. If there are no thoughts, then you are aware that there are no thoughts. If there are emotions, you are aware that there are emotions. Whatever is, you are aware of it. And you are with that, you stay with that. No? So it's not a doing, because the very nature of consciousness is being aware, being the observer, being the witnessing self, the witnessing consciousness. It's its nature. And in every moment, in any moment that I rest in the present, I stop going outward. I stop trying to achieve something. I stop to improve on myself in any way. And I just let everything be as it is. Naturally, I am aware. And eventually there's nothing else left. There's just awareness, presence. That's the way we practice. Because otherwise, we're wasting time. Precious time and precious energy. If we keep sitting trying to achieve something, try to have an experience of whatever type, we're not going anywhere with that. What we want is to crystallize that sense of presence, that witnessing presence. That's the only thing that matters. And it crystallizes only when we stop going outward. When we stop doing anything, desiring anything. Just for half an hour, whatever. No? Then if you really are attached to your desires, you can find them. Don't worry, they'll come back. They're going to follow you and fly on you and just say, I got you again. As soon as you get up from your cushions, you can have all your desires back. Don't worry. You can have your mind back if you really like it. Fine. But for half an hour, you can say, okay, I dedicate my half an hour just to being a witness. That's a good practice. I just sit and let myself be. You can think like that. Instead of I'm meditating, you can say, I'm just sit now and let myself be as it is. I let everything be as it is, including this self. Okay? So that's how we're going to practice this morning. So shall we sit together? Okay. So find a comfortable position to sit. Yeah, stretch a little bit if you need to. And then when you're ready, you just let your eyes close. Allowing that energy to move, to stop moving outward. That's why also we close our eyes, to facilitate that. Bringing back that energy that usually goes out through the eyes, We bring that back as well. Stop going anywhere. We just stop. Take half an hour pause. And we sit with ourselves and we sit with everything that is. First of all, our own witnessing consciousness, our own sense of presence. I am here. That sense that I'm here, I'm awake, I am present, I am aware. That should be the central pillar. You're like a pillar of awareness. Around that, everything is experienced. But the center is unmovable. It's just witnessing, not going anywhere. All experiences happen around on the periphery. That's where everything moves in constant change. All that is impermanent is the periphery. But the center, it's the only thing that never changes. That witnessing self. We sit in that. Or we should say, it is that sits. And we can help ourselves to be more present if we need to by starting always from feeling the body. Embody our body. Embodying. Feeling the connection with the earth and the weight of the body on the cushion. Relaxing into that, allowing the body to be attracted by the earth means grounding, which means another way of saying relaxing, letting go. Letting go of all tensions. Being aware also of the energy from the sky that is sustaining us from the top. As if you're hanging from a thread attached to the top of your head, coming from the sky. Aligning neck and spine. In this way, we sit in perfect balance. Easy to sit in this way, from sky and earth, between the two of them. We notice that through the doorway of the body, of the form, we can become more quiet. We anchor ourselves in the present moment more easily. But then we can move deeper than that, deeper than the body. Even to say deeper is, in a way, wrong, because it gives an idea that you have to go somewhere else. But you're already there where you want to be. Just this awareness that you feel, that perceives my voice, that is observing what's happening inside, like your breath moving. The same awareness that will see some thoughts arising, passing, and then going. You're already that awareness, you're already in it, you are it. You don't need to go anywhere. It's already inward, it's already deep. So when I say go deeper, it doesn't mean you have to go anywhere else. In a way, it's more like saying, once you center yourself, ground yourself through the form, through the body, then also let go of that a little bit and start perceiving that which has no form. That's what I meant, but deeper. But both formless and form are already here. We don't need to go anywhere. We don't need to go deeper in that sense somewhere else. You're already where you want to be. Your body is here. Your consciousness is here. Everything is already here. We just clear our mind from unnecessary thoughts so that we can be more here with what is. Allow gaps, allow space, emptiness to be there too. Allow spaciousness in which everything is perceived. Allow beingness to be. And noticing that is a natural state, this beingness, this presence. You're not doing it. You're not doing anything. You're just resting in it. It's already there. That's all. That's what sitting is. Resting in what's already there. Without going anywhere, without changing anything, without desiring anything. And then there are no objects anymore. There is just presence. Once in a while, a thought might start wanting to create objects again, because that's what the mind does. Mind cannot exist without objects. So we notice that without any judgment. We just notice, oh, look, there's a thought arising. Okay. I can choose to follow it and give it energy and go somewhere else and lose some presence, or I can choose to let it go and remain in the space of presence. It's okay. We are aware that there is a choice. There is no right and wrong. It's the awareness of what is that matters, not what kind of objects I'm witnessing, not what kind of experiences I'm witnessing. But it's the witnessing that matters. Once you deeply understand that, then there are no longer desires, because witnessing is always present naturally. That's what consciousness does. That's what consciousness is. keep allowing yourself to rest in what is. resting into what is. And slowly coming back to the group. I just realized you guys probably were not hearing the sound of the balls. So I forgot to share in the sounds from my computer. So I play 3 little bells at the end and you guys were not moving. I was like, wow, they went really deep today. They're not even, they're not even moving after the bell. And then I was like, wait a second. Maybe they haven't heard any of the bells. Yeah. Sorry about that. I will add it in the video. So we have a little space, little time left. You can definitely open the space if anybody wants to share something. Yeah, Mac here. You have to unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here.
Yeah, it's always good to hear your voice, Shastro. Yeah, you gave me some good input, just to nothing to desire and nothing to achieve. Also with sitting, that's what I was always trying to achieve some physical sensations or some good feelings, or want to work on myself. It's good that you mentioned it, that you just have to sit to be and witnessing your consciousness and not achieving anything, and just get back to it all the time. And that's what I tried, but it was really hard because of where I live now.
Yeah.
Me and my partner, my girlfriend, we separated after 15 years. It's really hard to deal with. A lot of emotions coming up.
Yeah.
And frustrations, and but I live now at a friend's place, and I go from here and there.
You're still gypsying around.
I'm gypsying around, in my backpack. But I'm living now on the street. There was a lot of noise going on, like a cleaning car, and a lot of distractions, outward distractions, where you were telling about. So it was really hard to get into the meditation, and then I had to go to the toilet. I drank way too much water with lemon.
That happens.
Yeah. So I had to take a small break. Try to get back into it, but it's pretty challenging times to maintain your your mind, to really live from your heart, and to only use your mind as a tool, as a practical tool, as you were telling, about your work.
Yeah.
But at this moment, my circumstances are really challenging, and hopefully it will a lot of grief and emotions. Hopefully it will give. This month is the month of the Shiva. I heard, so a lot of things are being destroyed or gonna be created also again. So hopefully there's gonna be some more space for me in the future,
Yeah.
and new things start to evolve. Hopefully positive. I wanted to share that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Malkia.
Yes.
Yeah. These are moments where it's very important to be very compassionate towards oneself.
Yeah.
Gentle. Realizing that even the experience of grief, of letting go of something that you enjoyed or loved, it's a human experience. There's nothing bad about it. Again, it's what is. It's just what is. So allow yourself to witness sadness or sorrow when it arises. Recognize it, acknowledge it. Don't try to push it away. I also separated. Last time I separated was after 12 years. Very, probably like you, very intense, always together, very intense 12 years. We were totally merged.
Yeah.
So the separation is like pulling an invisible umbilical string, that connects us energetically so much, and it can be painful, because you have to stretch it, so that you can take that distance, and that can be painful.
It's super painful.
Yeah. But the way through is not, the way out is not, the way out is the way through. There's no other way. So you have to allow yourself that pain to be there, to be perceived. You have to allow those tears to come when they want to come. That's the best way to move through it.
Yeah.
Man, I spent like 2 months, I was in a valley of tears. But I enjoy those tears, It was so beautiful to just let them come.
Yeah.
Once you stop trying to change that, or try not to cry, but you let yourself cry, it's just such a beautiful, beautiful cleansing moment, process.
Yeah. I shed a lot of tears
Good.
when I was in Sweden.
That's good.
Taking a lot of time in the nature, and it's a lot of acceptance and letting go.
Yeah.
But it's really hard when you're, as you told, like you were been together 12 years, and when you've been so connected to each other, also emotionally, we were really the best friends, best buddies.
Yeah.
We traveled a lot together. We experienced a lot together.
Right. I know.
A lot of grief also.
Sure.
Losing people, and we experienced a lot.
It's a little death.
Yeah, I feel like death. Yeah, I feel like a little bit death. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to rebirth myself, or to be reborn.
Yeah, that's true. And if there is love, then once you pass this phase, if there is love, it will stay there. It's not going anywhere. Maybe you'll be friends again one day, in a different way, but love doesn't disappear. If it's love, it stays.
Yeah.
But now it's a time where this distancing, and it brings in a deep process of letting go, like a death. And that's what is requested now of you, both of you.
Yeah, super hard.
Yeah. It is hard. Thank you for sharing that, Makyar. Yeah. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle and loving. The more challenging the times, the more loving we need to be with ourselves, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'm sure many of us can relate to that. And somehow, I always felt like through all that pain, to the experience and to allow myself to experience that pain, somehow my heart always grew. You know, it's like the heart matures through pain as well, through sorrow. It becomes stronger, it gets bigger. You know, it needs to be bigger because it has to contain all this pain too. It has to grow. And then once the pain is gone, you find yourself with a bigger heart. So it's a beautiful process. Yeah. Who else would like to share something?
And you're feeling okay now, huh?
Yeah, I'm feeling okay. And I got your message, Aura was asking me because she saw that I was in Asha, this retreat center, and I was holding an event there. She said, how could you hold an event if you were sick? So, well, I was no longer sick in that sense, but during the event, I kept chewing this. I mean, I was like, no, I cannot play flute. I still have a cough. So I was really tense about it. And first I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. But then I was like, but I want to give something in exchange for hosting me here. And I want to give something back. And that was the only chance. I was there only for 3 days. So I did, come on, don't be a sissy, Shastro, do it. Even if you cough in the middle of your flute playing, no big deal. So I did, but I had to chew this cough drop throughout the whole thing. So in the recording, you hear myself sucking on this thing. It's horrible, but it worked. And I even managed to play the flute. It was a miracle. Yeah,
But next time you have cough and you have to play flute, just play violin.
I'll play violin. God, that's a difficult instrument. You can't just pick it up and play, that's for sure. The most I can play is a diruba, which is a bow instrument, as you know.
Yeah.
I love diruba. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Aura. It's good also to go through the experience of getting sick or getting COVID, or what they call COVID, realizing, well, it's okay. I get sick and then I get better. And there are people that can help me. And there is therapies that I know they work. And definitely I don't need to go in a hospital, that's for sure. And definitely realize, God, you don't need to stop a whole country and put them in lockdowns just for this. It's ridiculous. So it makes everything, it puts everything in the right perspective to have that experience. you realize, whoa, there's really a big agenda behind, because it was not handled the way it was handled. It was not necessary. And it can be heavy. It can be like a really heavy flu. I mean, I was happy to have certain medicine that were recommended to me to help me deal with it at home, simply at home. You don't need to go anywhere. You don't need. You might need a doctor for certain things in certain countries to get the prescription, to get stuff from the pharmacy. But that I did on the phone. It was a very nice guy I found that was there just to help. He didn't charge anything. Super sweet. There's many doctors like that now that are still acting in conscience and in science. And they're not buying into the whole agenda, of creating fear, controlling. So it was easy. I mean, it took 2 weeks, and I'm still, a little dragging, a little lingering, but I'm definitely better and completely well. Doesn't matter how heavy it is, there are ways to heal. So again, it's like puts everything in the right perspective, and you realize, wow, they created so much fear. Why? Well, we know why. It's a form of control. When people are scared, they're easy to be controlled. When people are blissed out and they're not living in fear, they cannot be controlled. So now when the COVID slowly will completely fade out and they create other things, then there will be, before there was terrorism, it was created too. Now they're going to war, Ukraine, and make war here and there. And then all their attention goes to the war. And after the war, there's going to be climate crisis. It's terrible what's happening. The heart is melting. And the eyes are melting. It's horrible. So slowly you realize, that's how they keep control of the minds of people, through fear. They have to constantly create a sense of insecurity and instability, and make you afraid. Because if you're stable, and if you're happy, and if you're loving instead of afraid, and if you move from your center, because maybe even better, you're practicing some meditation and mindfulness, then it's very difficult to control you. It's definitely very difficult to tell you what to do, because you do what your heart tells you to do. You do what you come from your truth comes from your being, not from what you're being told. So you cannot be controlled. It's very simple. And people that are leading the countries, the politicians or the political leaders, they know this very well. They know, well, we have to keep these people in a sense of instability, or not knowing what's happening, of insecurity, of fear. Then there is a big agenda that will keep creating that. So be aware of that. Be aware of that. In English, there is a word that is false flag operations. There are things that are created with the purpose to create instability and fear. Unfortunately, these things exist. It's very unfortunate. It's not nice, but it's good to be aware of it, because then you don't fall for it. You start seeing it when it happens. It's like, oh, here it is, another one. Okay, I'm not gonna fall for this one, sorry. It's very important. To become aware means this too. To become aware means to become free. because you cannot be controlled. That's true freedom. And then you start seeing the parallel between your mind, how your mind tries to control you from the inside, and how that mind is projected outward into what is happening as well. You know, Krishnamurti used to say, we are the world. So if you want to change the world, change yourself. Why was he saying that? Well, because what we see, you know, these people, these bad people that are trying to control the population, the world, that are creating war, that are creating fear, terror. What are they? They're nothing but an enlarged, projected, egoic mind, you know, that we all have. It's like a screen. You see it clearly in these people, you know, what the ego does, what the greed for power does, what the desire to have something we were talking about in the beginning, no? To do something so that you get something, and not the desire to have more power, more money, more prestige. So it's nothing, the world is nothing but a big screen where there is a big movie, and the egoic mind, particularly the male egoic mind, is projected now, and it's so obvious for everybody to see, you know. It's always been there, but it was more underneath. Now it's like so much on the surface. It's like the pus is coming out of the wound, almost. It's very obvious. And it's failing, and we can see it's like desperate because it's coming to an end. It's just has been a total failure. So becoming aware of your mind will also help you becoming aware of how this mind is projected, like in all these people that are acting, believing in their mind, still completely trapped in their egoic mind. Poor them. On one hand, have pity on them, but be aware that these are the people that are pulling the threads. Don't fall for it. You are a free being, born free and will die free. So don't fall for their nightmares. It's not your dream, it's their nightmares. You can leave it to them. You keep being more and more aware, more and more present, more and more loving, more and more silent. And the world will keep spinning on the periphery and go more and more crazy until maybe something will snap, or maybe it will stop, or maybe it will just self-destroy. I don't know what is going to happen. Or whatever it is, remember that that's the periphery, like spinning around you, and the center of that hurricane, it's your center. It's silent, it's witnessing, it's loving, it's a joyful, loving, witnessing presence. And so you rest in that as much as you can. And when the periphery tries to pull you in, don't go for it. No, understand what is happening and don't buy into it. So in this way, you can live peacefully even through chaos. You can even live peacefully through a war. Not that you don't feel the pain that is around you. You still feel it. You'll be aware of it. But then you'll know it's not your pain. It's the pain that you feel that somebody else is feeling. It's not your chaos. It's a chaos that the mind is creating. So in this way, we can live as a free man, a free woman, even through an unfree world. That's our work. We are the carrier of those seeds of freedom, of humanity, of love, of joy, we're carrying that life force that is beating through us, that is alive and vibrant. And it's our responsibility to keep carrying that torch. And the only way we can carry that torch lit is not to get identified with the periphery and what does not belong to us and what is mind and not being. Okay. Beautiful meeting with you guys this morning. So unmute yourself for a moment, if you can. Yeah.
Thank you, Shastro.
Yeah, thank you, all
Thank
of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very great, Shastro. Very great.
Thank you, everybody.
Kisses and hugs.
Yes. I feel lighter again. Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you next week.
For Melchior.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for all your sharings and for
Thank
your
you.
silence.
Thank you.